Alright, so we're going to be doing 1 point perspective, okay? So you're going to draw a horizon line using your ruler, okay? A horizon line is where the sky and the ground meet, okay? So it's a horizontal line, and then you're going to create a VP, which is a vanishing point on that horizon line. Vanishing point is called the vanishing point because everything that goes to that point gets smaller and will eventually vanish when we are creating perspectives, okay? Also, kind of like in real life, if you're standing at a railroad track and you're looking down the track, it looks as if those two parallel lines of the track actually end up meeting, but they don't, okay? It's kind of like an illusion. So that's what we're going to be creating when we're doing 1 point perspective. It's creating the illusion that these things are in a 3D space, okay? So things that are further from us are going to be smaller, and things that are closer to us are going to be larger, okay? So go ahead and draw a square underneath your horizon line, and we are going to draw it into a cube. So once you have your square drawn out, you are going to then imagine that there are points on either ends of these points of your square. You are going to line them up with your vanishing point. Okay? Remember to draw lightly here because you will be erasing these lines, so you don't want to draw too hard. Now, for this first cube, we are going to create our cube as transparent to where we can see through it, and then the other two that we'll be doing, we'll do them opaque so that we cannot see through them. So I'm going to connect all my points. Okay, so now we have this shape that is coming out at us. What we want to do now is make it a cube all on its own. So really important, I'm going to line my ruler up with the edge of my cube, or square, sorry, I keep saying that. We're going to change it into a cube. Okay, you're going to line it up, keep it parallel, which means they will never touch. This is really important. You're not going to slide it over at an angle because then it's going to look funky and you don't want that. We need to line it up, keep it parallel, slide it over without angling your ruler, and create a vertical line that is parallel to the edge. And you're going to do that for every single side of your square. Line it up, slide it over to meet the other line that you created. You don't want to make it longer or shorter because you want it to line up because all the edges are the same width apart. Okay, so line the edge up, slide it over. If I don't line it up and I do a line here, now I have a point that is off here, okay? So you want to make sure that you're always meeting the other lines that you've created. Line it up, slide it over, meet that other line, keep it parallel. Same thing, last side here, I'm lining it up, sliding it over to meet these, and creating another line. Okay, so now you can see that we have this transparent cube here. Transparent meaning I can see those other edges, so I can see the top, I can see the bottom, I can see the right side, I can see the left side, and I can see the back. Okay. Now, the last thing to do is create this object all on its own. So we want to erase these lines that are outside the cube shape. So we're going to disconnect it from our vanishing point to create it a stand-alone object. All right. Before we move on, there's one more thing that I need to erase that might be hard for some of you to see. But it is going to be this line right here. Yes, it's transparent, but we don't see this line connecting to the vanishing point. We need to erase that line. Okay. All right. Now we're going to create one on our horizon line. So okay, and now disconnect it from its vanishing point. Now, note here that we see the front, the bottom, and the right side because it is above the horizon line. All right, so challenge here. I have this cube. If I have a little person standing right here, and this person is looking underneath this box, but they can see up into that box, how would I create that box to look like it was open on the bottom? So what you're going to do is you're actually going to take this corner and you're going to create a vertical line that is parallel to this one, straight up. And now we have an illusion that tells us that this little guy here can see inside this box from the bottom. Okay, so going back to the boxes that we made, if I wanted to make a box in my room, I would create a box on the floor, right? Because our boxes don't float in space. So I would start by creating my box on the floor somewhere in the room. Okay, now I need to have my square. I need to make it a box by connecting it to the vanishing point, just like we did. Now, let's create a window. The window on the side of the wall is going to line up with this vertical point here. So all your vertical lines are going to stay straight and parallel. Okay, even these ones, straight and parallel. Okay. So I'm just going to make two parallel vertical lines. Looks a little weird, right? So the trick here is actually to take the furthest line from the vanishing point and connect its points to it. Okay, then you're going to erase and disconnect that shape from the vanishing point. Now you got a window. All right. Anything that's going to be on this wall is just going to be straight. It's not going to have any perspective because it's directly on a back wall. So we're not going to have, we're looking at it directly on, right? So if it's like at an angle or something, we see different size. But if it's head on, we don't see any perspective changes. So for instance, if there's another window here, or a TV, let's do a TV. A bed. So if we're gonna do a bed and we're gonna have a bed in the corner, then we need to make sure that we line the edge of our cube up with the corner of the room. Okay, so how I'm going to start is I'm actually going to start with the shape that's closest to me. So if I have a bed, I'm going to start with the edge that's closest to me. So for instance, okay, I'm going to start with this shape first because it's closest to me. So if I want it in the corner of the bed, the corner of the wall here, not the bed, sorry. I'm going to take this. Okay. I'm going to start with that shape first. Okay. Then I'm going to take all my points to the vanishing point.